Okay, number one, I have negative v plus 5 plus 4v equals 1 plus 5v plus 3. I want to solve this equation for v. So I follow the 5 steps to solve equations. Step 1, the e on every reminds me to eliminate the parentheses if I see them. I'm looking at equation 1, I see no parentheses, and so I know I don't need to eliminate them by the distributive property. So I move on to step 2. The c on cowboy reminds me to combine like terms. And it's like crossing the street. I look left, I combine like terms over here if there are any. Are there any like terms? I have negative v plus 5 plus 4v. Are any of those terms like? You should say yes, right? Negative v and 4v both have a v in them, and they are v to the first terms. They have same variable and same exponent. So I'm going to put them in the same shape so that I can combine them. So I have negative v, put that in a shape, and positive 4v, put that in a shape. And if I combine them, what is negative v plus 4v? Well, that would be 3v, right? I still also have a plus 5 on the left side, so I'm going to bring that term down. I bring my equal sign down as well. So on the left side of the equal sign, I have combined like terms. But again, like I said, it's like crossing the street. You look left, and then you look right. So on the right side, I have these terms, 1 plus 5v plus 3. Are any of those terms like terms? I have one v term, no other v terms on this side, but I do have constants, right? These constants of 1 and 3 can be combined, right? They are constants which have no variable, and I know 1 plus 3 is 4. So on the right side, I'm going to bring this 5v down. I will have 5v plus 4, since 1 plus 3 is 4. Okay, so I have done step 2. I didn't have to do step 1 because there were no parentheses to eliminate. Step 2 I just did. I combined like terms. I did it on the left first, and then I looked on the right side and combined like terms over there. Step 3, get the variable on one side. Right now, the variable, which is the variable v, the v is on the left side and the right side. I need to pick a side and get the variable on that side. So it doesn't matter which side I choose, but I'm going to choose to get the variable v on the right side so that my v term will be positive. So how am I going to move the 3v to the other side? Well, will adding 3v work? 3v plus 3v, is that going to be 0? No, that would be 6v. So I can't add 3v. I need to subtract 3v from the left side and from the right side because I always do the same thing to both sides. Again, notice how I stack my v terms on the left and on the right. Notice I subtracted not 3, but 3v. 3v. I subtracted from the left and the right. Draw the horizontal equal sign across the problem. These 3v's cancel. 3v minus 3v, that's 0. So on the left side of the equation, I'm only left with this 5. I will bring it straight down as well as my equal sign. It gets brought straight down. Now I have 5v minus 3v, that is 2v. And I bring this plus 4 down as well. Okay. So now I have variable v on the right side. I need my numbers. This is what the n on nervous reminds me to do. Get the numbers, in this case, the 4. I need this on the other side. So I undo addition by subtraction. I'm going to subtract 4 from the left and from the right. Draw the equal sign across the problem. Those 4's cancel. 5 minus 4 is 1. And so equal sign gets brought down. 1 is equal to 2v. The S on sometimes reminds me to solve. This is the 5th and final step. I solve by dividing both sides by the coefficient of, in this case, v. So what's the coefficient of v? What number's in front of v? That would be 2, right? So I divide the right side by 2 and the left side by 2. These 2's simplify, and so my variable v is equal to 1 divided by 2. Is that 2? Nope. That is 1/2. Would you agree that's 1/2 right there? So v is equal to 1 over 2, 1/2. And that is my answer. Okay, it is possible to have fractions for your answers. Okay, so don't be thrown off by that. V is equal to 1/2. Number 2, step 1, I look for parentheses. Do I see parentheses? No. Step 2, combine like terms. Over here, I have a negative 6z and a 28. Are those like terms? No. After I look left, then I look right. I have 9z and minus 2. Are those like terms? No. So step 3, get the variable on one side. It doesn't matter which side I get the variable on, just pick a side and get it there. Now, if I were to move this 9z to the left side, I would subtract 9z, and I would have negative 6z minus 9z on the left side, which would give me negative 15z, which is all correct. It's just I'm dealing with negative terms. And if I had the choice to deal with negative terms or positive terms, I would rather deal with positive terms. So I'm going to move, instead of moving 9z to the left side, I'm going to move negative 6z to the right side. That way, I will add 6z to both sides and end up with a positive z term. So I add 6z to the left and to the right, draw the equal sign across the problem, and this negative 6z plus 6z, that cancels, right? Because those are opposite terms. So I'm only left with 28 on the left side. Bring the equal sign straight down. And this is what I was talking about. The z term is now positive, right? 9z plus 6z, that's 15z minus 2. Okay, now I have my variable on one side. That's the whole goal of step 3. Get that variable on one side. It now is. It's on the right side. And because my variable is on the right side, I need my numbers, in this case, the minus 2, the negative 2, I need my numbers on the other side. So to undo the subtraction, I would use addition. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. Draw the equal sign across the problem. These 2's cancel, right? Because negative 2 plus 2 is 0. On the left side, I have 28 plus 2. I know that's 30. Bring the equal sign straight down. 30 equals 15z. Okay, so I have variable on the right side, numbers on the left side. Fifth and final step is to solve for z by dividing both sides by the coefficient of z, which would be 15. So I divide the right side by 15 and the left side by 15. These 15 simplify to 1, and I know 1 times z is simply z. And so z is equal to 30 divided by 15, which is 2, right? Because 2 times 15 is 30. So z is equal to 2. I could always check my answer by plugging 2 back in for the z's and seeing if the left side equals the right side. One more for this video. Negative 7d minus 22 equals 4d. Step 1, do you see parentheses? Nope, so you don't need to do step 1. Step 2, combine like terms. I look left. I have these terms. Are they like? Can they be combined? No, that has a d in it. This does not have a d in it. So nope. After I look left, I look right. There's only one term, so I can't combine it with anything else. Step 3, get the variable on one side. Now, as you can see, I have a d on the left side and the right side. Now, let's say I wanted to move the 4d to the left side. Let's see what happens when we do that. To move 4d to the other side, I can't add 4d because 4d plus 4d does not equal 0. That would be 8d. So instead of adding 4d, I would subtract 4d, of course, from both sides. Okay. Negative 7d minus 4d, that's negative 11d, right? Same signs add, keep the sign. I bring the minus 22 down. Now, what happens on the right side of the equal sign? What is 4d minus 4d? That is 0. Okay, so yes, they cancel, but I would actually need to write a 0 so that I can tell I have nothing on this side. And so I would need now, if my d is on the left side, I need this number on the other side, so I would add 22 to both sides. Okay, now all that I just showed you is really not how I would approach the problem. If that's how you did it, that's fine. Rather, I would do it this way. Okay, I would move the negative 7d to the right side. So to do that, to undo the negative 7d, I would add 7d to both sides, right? So that negative 7d plus 7d cancels, and I'm left with negative 22. I bring that straight down, right? I bring that straight down, bring my equal sign straight down. And I have 4d plus 7d, which is 11d. Now I do step 5, which is to solve, right? I have my variable d on the right side, my numbers on the left side. And so I solve for d by dividing both sides by this coefficient, which is 11. I divide the left side and the right side by 11. These 11 simplify to 1 times d, or simply d. And so d is equal to negative 22 divided by 11. I know if I'm dividing different signs, my answer is negative, and 22 divided by 11 is 2, right? So d equals negative 2.